Hello, welcome to the Seaford Head video. Now for the eagle-eyed of you will probably realise that I'm not on a golf course, and the reason I didn't do it at the golf course was because of how windy it was. I tried it with the guys up on one of the tees, and to be honest it was just too windy to try and do it. So it's a different kind of video in this one, but what I'll do now is first we'll see the guys on the course and at Seaford Head, and we'll get their scores first. Seaford Head is a golf course down sort of Brighton way. It's the first time I've ever played it, so we'll catch up with the guys and then we'll come back to me. I'll give my scores and then we'll do our overview. Just out walking the dog in the garden at the moment, so you may see him popping around every now and then.
Holy moly! Got some views.
Nick, welcome to Seaford Head.
Welcome, we're on the 13th.
I know. We're going to do a bit different today because there's 4 of us and
a lot of wind.
So we are at Seaford Head. We're out with Steve and we're out with Stretch. Stretch isn't actually on the hill, that is the size of him. So doing it differently today, right. We're going to do the first 3 all in one hit.
Right.
So clubhouse and facilities out of 5-star, what would you give it?
A generous 2.
2?
Yeah, the pro shop had nothing in it.
Yeah.
Just walking around, there just didn't seem like anything, there was no vibe to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 out of 5.
Course condition?
I'll go over 3. Again, it's not, actually no, we'll go 4 because for the greens and that, being a public course, they're in really good nick. The fairways are a little bit patchy in places, but there's a lot of walkers here, dog walking, blah blah blah. So the way they actually keep it is actually quite good, to be fair to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go 4.
And value for money on the £30 that we paid?
Probably I'll go 4 again. So okay. It's a nice course, but it's not somewhere I want to come and play for £30 every week.
Yeah.
But twice a year maybe, once in the winter, once in the summer. I'd say yeah, it's decent value.
Okay.
But like I said, I wouldn't be a member in it.
Okay, excellent. Right Nick, now we're out of the wind a little bit more.
Yeah.
Last 2 is course level of difficulty. Bear in mind you had 41 points through 14 holes, so probably nearly 50 points.
But it was still hard, wasn't it? It's tough. If that wind's blowing, it's very tough.
Yeah.
So, but again, because I played well, only 3 out of 5 I think, because some of the holes are very much like army. Up, down, up, down. There was like 4 or 5 on the spin, wasn't there? But they've got some real good feature holes, haven't they? So yeah, 3 out of 5.
And likeliness to recommend?
Yeah, 100%. 5 out of 5, just for that t-shirt on 18 alone.
Yep.
I think it's just worth coming down here, just because you don't see things like that around where we are.
Cool.
You can play all the good courses, but that's a real sort of iconic t-shirt, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5.
Excellent. Steve.
Good afternoon.
The main man that wanted to come and play here. Regretting it a bit after that walk?
It's good.
So Seaford Head, we run on a 5-star system, so you rate the course out of 5 stars. So clubhouse and facilities out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
Well, I would be with Nick. I would say 2 because the clubhouse is not all that.
Yep.
You know, the pro shop and whatever. I don't think it's all right, but not.
Okay. Course condition?
4. Most of it's all right. Tees are a bit patchy, but yeah, the greens are brilliant.
Okay. And value for money? How much? Because you paid a senior rate. Not that we want to give away your age, but
yeah.
How much did you pay?
23.
So 23. So what would you call that in value for money?
Well, on a Saturday morning, 5.
5? Mm-hmm. Okay. Excellent. Yep. Thank you. To finish yours off.
Yep.
Course level of difficulty.
For me, 5. For a decent player, probably like yourself, 3.
Okay, so what are you going to go with, 4?
Yeah, we go 4.
Split the middle with 4?
Yeah, we go 4.
And likeliness to recommend this golf course to other people. Bear in mind you recommended it to us, so
well, again, I would say 5. I mean, I think it's a cracking course, it really is. And again, the 18s, you won't get a better t-shirt.
Yep.
It's brilliant.
Okay, excellent. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
I don't think it's helping you standing above me.
Do you want me to turn around? Is that better?
Yeah. Right, now you've had a chance to see the whole course. Some of it that maybe you didn't want to see.
1 through 17. Yeah, no.
So clubhouse and facilities, what would you give that as a 5-star rating?
Not actually seeing the facilities as much. I'll have to give it a 2 because soon we got here, man had to lock the door and leave us outside to go and get the buggy. It was like, so we're sitting around waiting, but that's probably not his fault. But yeah, I'll have to give it a 2. I'm not actually seeing much of the facilities.
Course condition.
Course condition, the greens were good, the fairways were alright. Minus the dog walkers, it'd be a bit better. But it was, I'd give it a 3, course condition overall.
Cool. Value for money out of our £30.
30 quid. For me, I'd give it a 4, because whereas I don't play week in, week out,
Yeah.
so 30 quid once or twice a month, that's fine for me. I'll give that a 4.
Course level of difficulty.
Again, where I don't play all the time, for me, especially this wind, very windy, I'll have to give it a 5.
Okie doke. And likeliness to recommend it to a friend.
100%.
5-star.
100% 5-star, just for the last hole.
Just for the last tee shot.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Right, cheers, mate.
Yeah, nice one.
Okay, so they're the other guys' scores. I think they was all sort of running along the same lines. I'll run through mine now to give my scores, and then, like I say, we'll do the total at the end. So I'll go Seaford Head, clubhouse and facilities, 2 stars. Now, when we got there, it was a nice clubhouse, but like I said in a few other videos, it's not a clubhouse that kind of takes my breath away. I didn't really see a driving range there, whether there is or not, I'm not 100% sure. There was a putting green there, but I'd say the facilities is quite basic, less than Pedham, and for that reason I've given it 2 stars. It's the same as the other guys, to be honest, but we did go out onto the sort of the seating area that they've got afterwards to have a drink, and it was quite nice to watch people coming down that 18th playing it, and then you've got the walkers and the beach and that just behind, and obviously the sea. So actually going out for a drink afterwards was actually quite nice. But in terms of golf, I'd say the clubhouse and facilities was a 2-star. Now, course condition was a tricky one. I think the other guys found it quite tough as well to give their star rating. So I'm going to give it 3 stars, but the greens there were possibly some of the best we've putted on. I said that at Lingfield, and I would say that these are possibly the best greens we've putted on this year. And considering it's a public and it's a council run course, I think they've done very well. But I'll give it 3 stars. Maybe if they gave the tee boxes a bit more TLC, it would be up at a 4, but for me, I'd have to give it a 3. So value for money, £30 for the round. I think it's a pretty standard price, and I think it's quite a fair price. I'm going to give it a 4-star. I think if it was 25 quid, you possibly give it 5-star, but I'd have no gripes in paying 30 quid to go and play there again. For it's excellent value for money. Not tip top, but very good value. So golf course difficulty level, I actually had quite a tough time trying to give this a star rating, because I'd say if it was no wind, I'd say it's down at a 2-star. It's one of the easiest courses I think I would have played this year. But with the wind there and how high you get up, it's very rare that you'll have a day where it's not windy and it's not quite tough. So them sort of 320-yard par 3s start playing a bit longer. The greens are quite tricky, and they was quite small as well. Although they were short holes, they were designed for wedges to be hit into, so there wasn't big targets, and it was quite easy to fall off sides and then have tricky up and downs, or you'd be putting up what you know in links golf, putting up them kind of big rises. So I'm going to give it a 3, because I very much doubt you get many still days there, but it's not the hardest golf course in the world. And likeliness to recommend, now going along the same lines as the other guys, I think the 18th tee shot is one of the best tee shots I think I've hit ever. It's the first time I've been there, and I think it was one of the best tee shots I've ever hit in terms of the scenery and everything like that. So I think to recommend someone to go there 100%. Even if it's just for that last tee shot, it's worth the 30 quid. But I think the golf course as a whole, and some of the other views that you get, and you would have seen in some of the videos, some of the other views that you get is really spectacular, and it's probably one of the most picturesque golf courses we've played this year. Okay, in terms of scoring, so I gave it 17 out of 25, Nick gave it 18 out of 25, Stretch was 19 out of 25, and Steve was 20 out of 25. Now, as all the other times in this, I'll give the other guys a chance to score. But in terms of like the leaderboard or the top 10, I only count mine and Nick's score because we're the ones that go and play all the golf courses, and it's a way of keeping it fair. So with mine and Nick's score, the course rates at 7 out of 10. Now that sits fourth in our table, which I think is quite fair. And the reason Seaford is above Lydd, although they scored the same, is because out of the two, I would go and play Seaford Head. I'd rather pay £30 to go and play Seaford Head than I would 20 quid to go and play Lydd. Not taking anything away from Lydd, but it's just my preference, and that's why I've put Seaford Head just above it. So let me know in the comments below if you've ever played Seaford Head, whether you actually enjoyed the whole golf course. I know there's not a golfer that wouldn't enjoy the 18th tee shot. And also if you think our scoring was fair. Now, with four of us all ranging between 17 and 20, I think it's quite hard to say that one of us was more biased than the other. So I think it was fair. All the links are below if you want to go and book a tee time at Seaford. They do it online and you don't pay until you actually get there. It was very easy to do, so I recommend doing that. And all the links down below for everything else. So if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you at the next golf course, which I don't know quite where it is yet or when it is, but I'm sure it'll be a good one, and hopefully it'll be just as good as that 18th tee shot at Seaford Head. See you later. Bye.